We are live. Hey, everybody. It's Alex, and I got Chris, and we have the Alan Lucio. He's a good friend of mine. He's actually one of the first people I met when I moved to Albuquerque, and he works for Pulte Homes, and he's going to kind of give us this world we're in is kind of crazy, isn't it, guys?
Yeah, it sure is.
It is.
And he's going to give us a little insight on what's going on in the new home world with Pulte Homes. So, shall we get started?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right. I didn't have my thing queued up. I'm slacking.
That was scary.
On there. I just don't have a goatee on that one. Oh, geez.
Well, that's
That's scary, Alan.
that was kind of interesting. Thank you for that.
That gets Chris going, though. He gets pumped up.
Yeah, this is great.
Gotcha.
Hey, Alan, so how long have you been doing real estate?
17 years.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. What's been your favorite part of real estate?
I think the people. I love working with people. Of course, that can also be the worst part. But for the most part, helping people get into brand new homes has been awesome.
And I kind of like the whole idea of a brand new house. Just nobody's ever sat on that toilet.
Or their toenails aren't in the carpet.
Oh,
Yeah.
You know what's the worst is when you move into a house, right? And the first time you got to snake a drain, and nobody in your house has that color hair. So
There's a lot of
I'm
nasty
buying a
things
resale
about
again.
resale.
I'm replacing all the toilets
Wow.
and all the P traps.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Things
It
you don't
does.
think about. You don't have to worry about that with a new home.
That's true.
That is awesome.
Go ahead, Chris.
Alan, how is the marketplace? How is the New Mexico home marketplace for new construction with Pulte out there? And I know you don't have that many. How many units do you have right now?
Yeah, that's a good question. So right now, we don't have any sitting inventory. I would say probably by the end of the year, we had maybe 3 houses. And then prior to that, I would say, let's say just September, we probably had 12, maybe 13. And so now we don't have anything. You would have to wait till probably June or July, maybe even later, to get into something finished.
Wow.
It's busy.
And what I'm noticing, and I've seen this in a couple of the other communities, things kind of fall apart. And so inventory does come on at times. So, we should always be checking on that to see. I think with all the starts you guys have, I think you guys will have some specs kind of coming on here and there, don't you? As people cancel, possibly.
Yeah, I mean, that's always a possibility. The fact is, that's just a part of the business. The great thing is, you always have stuff in the ground, and but people are always coming by trying to buy something, and they're hoping, hey, I need something like tomorrow. I mean, how often do you hear that, right? Or yesterday. So you will get some fall through.
Wow.
Which really, just like on the resale side of it, I hate saying there's nothing because there is stuff there, but everything is multiple offer. It's very difficult. I tell anybody, man, if you get under contract with new home, just stay there. There's nothing better elsewhere. What are you going to do? You've already put in the time. Might as well just hang out and get your brand new house. And the cool thing with it, like you said, there's been price increases. So the guys that jumped in right away, even if it's taking them an extra month, dude, they're making money already. These guys are moving in with equity.
That's correct. The obviously the costs have gone up amazingly when you're looking at lumber and labor and just materials in general have gone up like crazy. And so for people who contracted back in, say, June or July or August, they're seeing price increases of $25,000 already, and they haven't even moved in yet.
Wow.
So yeah, it's really been crazy. It's a wild ride.
Absolutely. Wow. That makes it difficult on your guys' end, just on pricing things. How do you price things if you don't know what material is going to cost when you actually build a house? It's interesting.
Has that gone up so much? Has that gone up so much? I mean, I see a lot of the custom built right now because of the lumber going up almost 50% as far as new build. Has that gone up a lot out there with Pulte?
Yeah, it's not just lumber, though. It's all kinds of costs when it comes to material. And then, of course, I think people are starting to already get forgetful about COVID. And I had somebody in here the other day who was like, well, COVID's over, so why isn't my house moving further along? And you have to understand that, I mean, when COVID hit, we weren't really affected initially, but now suppliers, our framers, I mean, just so many different aspects of the build have slowed down to where now we're going to have to play catch up with building. So
wow.
It really has been difficult.
Wow. I remember you telling me that you just had like one installation crew. If one person tests, now that whole crew's down for 10 days.
Well, and it's not just behind. Sometimes it's multiple crews, and sometimes it's when we're having our panels built off site. I mean, that whole division, that whole company shut down for a long time. So it's just there's so many different struggles when it comes to building. And of course, the person that's buying, sometimes they don't understand that there's a lot of other components that go into building this house that you may not really be aware of the difficulties that we're facing.
You segued into the COVID question beautifully. That was masterful the way you did that, Alan. Thank you. Very, very impressed. That's a great point you bring up on the COVID piece. We're still dealing with it. I mean, it does, we've got vaccines out. Some states are like open and it's kind of normal-ish. Here, we're a little bit more restricted, but it still has an effect. I remember this summer I bought a motorhome, right? There was a shortage of motorhomes just because people were sitting at their house and they spent money on motorhomes to go do something. I think people did the same thing with houses. We ended up with this big boom because I think people ended up not spending as much money. You know what I mean? Because we couldn't do anything. Right. And then they're sitting there with extra money, like, heck, let's get a nicer house. And so when everybody thought we were going to retract, right? I mean, we were freaking out. I think Pulte was too. They're probably, oh crap, let's cut our projections. I mean, everybody didn't know what was going to happen. And we weren't prepared for it to go completely the other way. And yeah, we are where we are with it. It's very interesting how everything happened. Don't you think?
I do. Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
And just going into something like that, even with the interest rates as well, we still don't know at this point with the housing market and the Federal Reserve and what's going to happen with the Federal Reserve or anything like that. So we're, as a lender in these times as well, it's remarkable. It really is.
Absolutely. You mean, Chris, you don't have control over those interest rates?
If I did, I would be over there in Florida with a couple friends of mine on the beach. What are the interest rates going to do tomorrow? I don't know.
Chris hasn't decided yet. We got to wait to see. Chris is in a good mood or not.
Yeah, 15 years from now. And then they say that whoever's the head of the Federal Reserve, however tall they are, is where the rates are going to be at. Gotcha. So if that person is short, then we're going to have low rates. If they're going to be tall, so actually the person is short that's coming into the Federal Reserve. So we're hoping for low rates for the next couple of years.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
So that's a scientific study?
That's a scientific study. You can go on to my YouTube or go into the scientific study of how interest rates will fluctuate through the year of 2021.
Based on height.
Based off of height.
Good to know.
That's not the craziest thing we've heard, though, is it?
Yeah, right.
Hey, Lucio, tell us about the neighborhood you're in, man. Where are you?
Yeah, so I'm in Broadmoor Heights here. It's the Apex series. There's actually two different communities here. There's the Peak series, which is the larger series, and then the Apex series, which I'm in, starting around 1,700 square foot, going all the way up to 2,900 square foot. Um, and then 111 lots, of which I probably have 35-ish left.
Wow.
Um,
Busy, buddy.
We've only been out here just over a year. And so we did about, I think we have about 65, maybe 75 under contract, something like that. So roughly before the end of the year, that's probably where we were. I think since then we've done about 20. So, that puts us right in that 35 range, approximately, if I do my math right.
So you're Broadmoor Heights and Rio Rancho. What's the price range there?
So we're starting at 280, 990.
Okay.
And then, by the time you add options and things, you can be in the mid to high threes, depending on what you choose. I've got some that are in the fours. But there's going to be 415 homes total here. There's a 2-acre park that we're going to be building in the third phase, and then 4 other little smaller parks. So it's going to be a really beautiful community. They kind of talk about it like a Loma, Colorado light, because Loma, Colorado was over 1,000 homes, and we're just under 500. So
I'll give Pulte that. They do a very good job building a community because they do put in the parks, and they do a nice job. Even like when you're coming into one, and their monuments are really ornate, and it feels like you're in something a little special. I like the way they do that. They do a great job building community.
Well, one of the great things that you can find with the Pulte community is go to some of my older communities that have been around for 10, 15 years, and it's almost like we just opened that up a year ago. It looks brand new. It looks gorgeous. It looks well taken care of, well manicured. We don't really leave a whole lot for someone else to take care of. Unless it's a really good HOA company. So we really want the community to look gorgeous.
That's a good point. Look at Loma, Colorado, because when did they start that? 08?
Yeah,
it's not a new community.
Yeah,
it's good.
Well, look at Cabazon. I mean, I live in Cabazon, and
parts of Cabazon.
What?
There's some parts of Cabazon that don't do HOAs.
I meant Cabazon where Pulte built
HOAs.
In the gated community.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about outside of the gated community.
Yes, our little gated community looks okay.
Yeah, it looks great. Yeah.
Hey,
I was actually thinking you were referring to your part of the community over there.
I want people to know where I live, man. What are you doing?
Oh, shoot. That's hilarious.
All right. This is Chris's favorite question.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so I know your last name being Italian, correct? And what is your favorite restaurant out here in New Mexico? I know what mine is, but what is your favorite restaurant?
Oh my gosh! Well, you got to narrow that down. But I love Joe's Pasta House. I think they do a great job over there. And you always got to give a plug to a local guy here in Rio Rancho. But Trombino's is awesome. But yeah, I love Joe's Pasta House. Forget about it. But
forget about it.
There's a lot of other restaurants that I just absolutely love too. I mean, I have a little bit of a weight problem. So
you're like, hey, we like to eat.
We like to
definitely love to eat. Yeah. Hannah and Nate's is pretty good for a nice, good salad. I've been there. There's a lot of great places. I don't know your place though. Where do you like?
Oh, mine. I have right over there on the way east side, and it's that Italian gem that's right across from Wells Fargo up there on the east side. Paisanos.
Oh yeah,
yeah. They have the best sauce and chicken capellini.
Again, Chris.
I'll go grab the sauce. You can get the sauce at one of the butcher places over here. Which is that butcher's place? Keller's, right. So you can get the sauce over there. You can get their pasta out there. I mean, they make their own pasta. I mean, oh man, that is some good stuff. And I'm a big sauce person.
Huh.
You know, I worked in an Italian restaurant for, I don't know, about 15 years. And we sat over 900 people out there in Florida. And it was Pacino's Italian restaurant. It was probably the best. We had an Italian. The guy always spoke as Italian. That's all he spoke was Italian. The owner. That's it. He didn't speak any English. And we were the only Italian restaurant open during all the hurricanes. And you know why? Because we had the picture of the Pope right there in the middle. That's what he said. We had a picture of the Pope right there in the middle of the restaurant. And he goes, this is one of the reasons why my restaurant is still open. And I'm sitting there rolling 2,000 meatballs to feed FEMA, you know, with carpal tunnel. Because he didn't want to order. I mean, I'm doing that. So I'm a big, you know, I'm a big pasta. We had commissary, and I can go on and on about that.
I'll have to try it. I've only been there once, and it was so long ago, I don't really remember. So
something like that with Joe's Pasta House. I think we went once. I'll try it again. I forget about.
I think so too. I'm going to go down there. I'm hungry right now. Sorry, 10
that's
o'clock.
good stuff. Good
So you're
stuff.
probably tired from making those imaginary meatballs right now.
I know, man. I'm telling you.
All right, Mr. Lucio, what do you think one of the best kept secrets in Albuquerque is? You guys have something that you and the family like to do that's not as known?
You know what? I think all of Albuquerque is the best kept secret in Albuquerque. I think it's the best kept secret in the nation because people don't understand that you move here, the weather is practically perfect except for wind. But our winters, I mean, if you come from a place like where I came from, which was Ohio, I mean, humidity, the state bird, the mosquito, I mean, it was horrible, you know, so.
They got big mosquitoes out there?
Oh yeah, they carry like small children and farm animals over here. Crazy. But I just think you don't experience any of that stuff here. And the food, the green chili, I mean, all of it. At first, when you get here, you're like, green chili, what's the big deal? Who cares, right? But then it starts getting in your blood, and then before you know it, you're like, I gotta have green chili. If I don't have green chili, this food sucks. So I'm not allowed to say that on Zoom. Sorry.
No, you're good, buddy. You're good.
You know, but it's horrible when you like go out of state and you're like, man, this meal would be perfect with some green chili.
Really?
You know,
I love
It's
it.
true.
It is
It's
so
true. And I've heard
true.
the people who end up, you know, they move in and then they leave. They didn't embrace the green chili.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, they're like upset. They put that on everything. Why do you put that on
Yeah.
hamburger?
Beef jerky. You got to
Yeah,
have
they
green
don't like
chili
it.
on beef jerky.
well, and
Beef
what's
jerky
funny
is
is
good.
you've got all these like supposedly like controversies, like, oh, Colorado's green chili is better. Whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
No.
I lived in Colorado. It's not better. Trust me.
But we do have that. We
I
have
mean,
that.
maybe their marijuana is better. I don't know.
I guess we'll have to see. We may be beating them at that too. You know?
Right. Pretty soon. That's for sure. That bill passes.
You know what I really like is honestly the whole sunset, the mountain changing colors, little things like that. And just even going up to the mountain and watching the sunset, right? From the peak and then all the lights turning on and the city is just like perfectly laid out like a grid. It's just, it's pretty. It is.
Are
It's really
we
cool.
going to hear some music in the background now?
I know,
So
that's-
No, all right, let's hold hands, Alan.
some Barry White. I mean, you know.
What?
Oh.
Because I'm in touch with my feelings better than YouTube remote or whatever, you know.
Well,
Italian
it's 'cause you
thing.
got pretty hair, brother.
That's what I was
Oh,
telling
man.
you. I thought it was a man bun back there, but I guess not.
Lucy. Hey, where can people find you, buddy? How can they get a hold of you?
My number is 505-261-9075. I'm in just south of the city center here in Rio Rancho. So if you need directions, come on out and see me. Give me a call. I'll get you here.
All right.
505-261.
What?
For a good house, call 505-261.
9075.
Oh, you guys have issues.
Oh, that's
It
We'll
just
just
keeps on
leave it at
getting
that.
better and better.
for Chris Gonzalez. I'm Alex Vijos, and we'll see you guys later.